Hi everyone, it's Meredith with Soul Navigation, and hopefully by now we are YouTube friends. And I hope that you have seen all my videos in my Sexy Seduction Series. So today we're going to have so much fun because we are going to indulge, and that is the word of the day in Taurus. And we are going to discover the top 10 seduction tips for Taurus. So my name is Meredith, and I'm an evolutionary astrologer with Soul Navigation, and I want to welcome you to this video. So if your sun sign or your moon sign or your rising sign, or mostly if your Mars is in Taurus or you have a ton of planets in the second house, or if your great love has any of those planetary placements, this video is for you. So Taurus, as you probably already know, is the sensual seducer of the zodiac, and they are very, very physical. They love physical touch, and they have big appetites for food and all the feel goods. They love sensual pleasures and the outdoors. They love being close, and they love being pampered, and they love pampering you. So they truly are one of the best lovers of the zodiac, and I want to help you figure them out. So let's dive into how to make a Taurus fall madly in love with you and never want to leave you, what turns them on, and how can you capture your Taurus's heart and never let them go. How can you create, that yummy seduction that they crave? It's not that easy. It might be simple, but it's not easy. So you're going to want to follow my 10 seduction tips, and you will hit the jackpot with your Taurus. Don't leave me, especially until you get to tip number 7. And you need to know them all because they're all collectively important. Let's start with Taurus's Aphrodisiac. The single biggest turn on for a Taurus. What do they need above all else? What do they admire? What do they need? What do they crave? What do they ultimately want to bond with, right? More than anything, above anything, you need to represent, are you ready for the Aphrodisiac? Dun, 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 security. So that means you are so damn secure with who you are in the world. And you also are going to ooze being a potential provider of some kind of security for them. It could be emotional or physical or financial. You just have to figure out what kind of security they most want and be that. Or be all of them. Just go for it. Be all of them. I mean, I will pretty much guarantee you that they will not choose a partner who can't deliver one or all of those concepts of security. And I guarantee you with my whole heart, they absolutely are not going to choose a partner who is insecure. So you got to be solid. So let's look at Sexy Seduction tip number 1. And please forgive me, this would not be an appropriate video that I am filming on a Saturday night without my delicious wine in my gorgeous glass. Only for Tauruses. Cheers with me. Sexy Seduction tip number 1. You have to be willing to offer up a commitment. Taurians are happiest in close and committed relationships, and rarely will they date just frivolously. They like dating people who become potential long-term partners, and they don't like hooking up with time wasters. So you at least have to look like you embody their values for the long term, and that you would or could be, you could stand in those shoes as a forever partner. They really don't even love hookups at all, and they want someone who fits into their concept of their goals, their idea or their concept of life. So if you are dating a Taurus and they're players, they probably have a lot of Gemini in their chart. And remember, this is a good time to remember, we're not just doing sun sign astrology. This is actually the placement of having a Mars in Taurus. So you could be dating a Gemini and they're not really like a Gemini inside relationship, if they have their Mars in Taurus. But this will also be applicable if they have their sun sign or moon sign or rising sign in Taurus as well. So you have to take the whole chart into consideration. And I know that if you've been watching all my videos, I know that sun sign astrology just isn't deep enough for the work that we're doing here. So sexy seduction tip number 2, you need to have an extra comfortable home or haven to snuggle up inside of. So in a relationship, a Taurus is a little bit more traditional than unconventional, and they are going to love being spoiled and going out on dates where you give them a delicious feast to eat and a feast to experience. But they are also really giant homebodies, and they love spending time cuddling up by a fire and watching movies with you on the couch. And they love gorgeous stay-at-home nights with yummy foods and yummy drinks and silky PJs and warm fires and beautiful lighting and incredible smells and just plain old easy fun. So you need to stock up on all the creature comforts for your at-home nights. Like, you have to have the best pillows and a nice warm blanket. And if they fall in love with your home, trust me, they're gonna fall in love with you. Okay, sexy seduction tip number 3. You need to be the embodiment of peace. You need to be calm and you need to be steady. So have this balanced, stoic manner about you, right? That isn't crazy or wildly emotional, or someone who's filled with like loud maniacal rage or out of bounds emotions that are hard to please or super high strung. It's almost like, don't unravel completely, at least until you walk down the aisle, because they need it kind of calm and cool and collected. So they can't deal with a lot of drama and a lot of emotion. They have like kind of zero tolerance for this. So like an Aries or a Gemini or an Aquarius or Sagittarius, they are more adept at handling that kind of crazy going off the deep end hysteria. But a Taurus really struggles with that in you, not with them. They can be like that. They can handle their own moods, but they'll have a harder time handling yours. So be calm. Actually, master serenity. And then come teach me how to do that. I have very little Taurus in my chart, but it is what I'm supposed to learn. So I need some really good Taurus comments on my thread, because I'm always trying to improve the Taurus parts of me, because I lack there a little bit. So you guys can teach me, and you can add anything. Please put in the comments below anything that you might feel is of value, or anything that you feel like I might have missed. But I love my Tauruses, and I love their energy because they teach me so much, because I don't have a lot of this energy innately inside of me, but I want to, and I'm kind of envious. So sexy seduction tip number 4, get naked. I know. It's just too simple, isn't it? Okay, this sign loves the flesh. They love the beauty of a naked body. So it does help if you do happen to have a gorgeous naked body. But in truth, if you're just as good as they are, they'll be okay with your nakedness, I promise. Be happy. They'll be happy. And then they should see you being happy walking around their house or your house in your naked body. So, and if you can't do that, if you're just too shy to like cook breakfast in the nude in the morning, then just at least go jump in the pool and go skinny dipping, or go to the beach where you can take your top off, or go on a hike and get sweaty, and then at the end jump in the river to cool down. And that might be one of their favorite things to do, is to take off their clothes and have it feel so good. Take a rain shower with them. And if you don't want to do any of that, then maybe just go to the art gallery, right? Where there's a special exhibition of nudes or the beauty of the body. Just basically find a really artful way to get your clothes off. And I hope you've watched my other videos on Taurus, because in it I go really deep, especially my Taurus Rising video. I go pretty deep into their psyche and like why they like all this stuff. So it's kind of fun. And I hope you'll go watch my Taurus Rising video and my Everything Taurus video. And also, if you want to purchase one of my love and relationship reports, they are absolutely amazing if you're involved with a Taurus that is baffling you because they're not telling you what they're feeling. You can just go to my website, soulnavigation.com. I just recently got it up, so I'd love for you to go check it out anyways, and you can buy one of those fascinating, they are so good reports. My love and relationships report are amazing if you're involved with a Taurus, or if you are a Taurus and you want to know more about your relationship. So let's move on. Sexy seduction tip number 5. I call this one pig out in the park. Don't hate me, people, but what I really mean is bring great food and your favorite drink and a fabulous blanket and go into nature somewhere. And get naked. That's after you eat and drink just a little bit. You got to warm it up. But you know, they love food and they love good food. And so don't scrimp, right? They're going to give you extra points if you've put together something kind of thoughtful and artful and something like really delicious. And if you made it, they'll even appreciate it more. And you get extra points if, you know, you are in the sunset or a lovely nature scene. And if there's like nearby wildlife, it's even better. Like point it out and appreciate it and love the wildlife. Like don't let a butterfly land on you and go unnoticed or appreciated, or don't let a puppy even walk by feeling neglected by your love and affection. You know, notice the birds and appreciate the songs that they're singing for you, and make a wish on the ladybug that lands, you know, on you, and don't kill the little spider that like crawled up onto your blanket. Just calmly secure a new home for that spider. They will love you. Then blindfold them and feed them the best yummy bites of food, and make it be ooey gooey, finger licking, melt in their mouth good. Say that 3 times. Seduction tip number 6. Love the outdoors. It's thirsty work, people, talking about all this good food and drink. You absolutely have got to have it in you to create outdoor romance. And if you can't, or you don't like to get even a little bit dirty, then this sign isn't for you. You got to go date a different sign. You should be planning like moonlit midnight strolls on the beach, or camping trips, you know, by the water, or vacation in the gorgeous countryside where there are lavender fields, or go sit in the hot springs, or find the prettiest tree to, you know, lay your lounge chair out, or swing in the hammock, or put your toes in the sand. You get the idea, right? So seduce them at sunrise or sunset, depending if they're a morning person or a night owl. You get the idea. But if you don't really have the outdoors or around, you know, that you could indulge in that are pretty or nice or lovely, or if it's just not your cup of tea, this, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to just save you right now. This is not the sign for you. It's not going to work. Let's move to sexy seduction tip number 7. Don't go changing them. Accept them as they are. Okay, I am going to give you the biggest secret that is going to give you the biggest breakthrough. And this is pretty much guaranteed to work. So we all know, and we can admit, and I think even Tauruses know, that they're stubborn. Oh my God, your Taurus is not going to change. So that's why I say don't go changing them, because they're not going to change. So they're very fixed in their values. They know who they are. They know what their preferences are. They like their life as it is. And you can ask them 1,000,000 times to go change some irritating habit that they have. And I promise you, they either can't or they won't. And it could be that you just like want them to quit smoking or stop eating junk food, or, you know, quit opening up a can of Coke and drinking half of it and leaving it there. So, or it could even be something like you want them to open up and start communicating with you, because They have a hard time with that. And you tell them this and they're just going to resist. So I have the secret for you. I know how you can get a Taurus to change. I know how you can do it. Are you ready? This is such a big secret. And I don't even know why it works. I just know it does. So if they have some bad habit, let's say they're messy. Let's say they're, like I said, they're leaving around their half cans of beer, Coca-Cola around, or they're leaving their underwear on the floor and they're just too damn lazy to pick it up. And it just bugs the living daylights out of you. This is what you're going to do. You are going to organize a coup. Don't hate me. You are going to get crafty. You're going to craft up a way that you can get a stranger to casually mention to them that, let's say, you think they're living like a slob. You're going to get a stranger to just casually mention to them that they are living like a total slob. Whatever your complaint is, they're going to mention it because you have not mentioned it yet. And if you have, you're going to have to finesse the words of this. A stranger, a total stranger, or somebody who they don't know that well has no motivation, right? They have no motivation. They have no vested interest in their changing. So they kind of let their guard down and they kind of trust their unbiased opinion and poof, they change. Not for you, because you have motives, but for them, because there's no motives in their observation. And so they change it, but you get to benefit it. And they don't know that they were set up in the coup. You just have to reveal that you don't want them to change, that you are nothing but accepting of their stubborn ways. They don't call them stubborn, by the way. Let's say you are nothing but accepting for their preferences. Okay, sexy seduction tip number 8. It's a little bit redundant, but I mean it differently, so bear with me. Don't shock their system. Do not create giant, spontaneous, shocking changes. This is not Aquarius, people, right? Let me just tell you another secret, and you will be just fine if you remember this. Your Taurus loves the rut that they are in. They love their routine and they want to keep it that way. So don't go trying to get them out of their habits. They like keeping it that way. Don't try to shock them or surprise them into a new system or a new program. They like keeping their calendar the way they keep it. They don't want to automate it, or they don't want to write it down. They don't want to put it in their phone. Whatever their quirks are around that, they like it that way. They like their routine. And to them, it's actually not even a rut. To them, it is a tried and true system that works for them. Trust me, they're happy. Even if they're complaining, they love it. So you just accept their way and you let them do it the long way if that's what it is. Don't shock them with a bunch of change. And even if you don't like their situation for them, trust me, they do. So if your relationship is at a place where you're needing them to change, you probably have to walk away. Seriously. They're only going to change on their own terms. And this is a little bit the same as, or I should say, this is just like a little bit of an addendum to the sexy seduction tip before this, but they're never going to change because you told them to. Nope. So if you create sudden changes with the system or the program that you guys are used to, it can create so much anxiety in a Taurus that you will literally create a nervous breakdown in them. If you're going to change up the plans or change the routine or change the system or not show or be spontaneous or give them a surprise party that they're absolutely not prepared for, they're going to have a hard time with big shocking changes to the plans, the system, the program. If you and your partner have decided to make a purchase on this house or this boat or this car or this thing, and then you go and get something else instead, that's a shocking change. They don't like that. They don't want you to up and plan to sell the house and move. They need a long, long time. These people need 9 months to even know they want to be with you. So you need to stay consistent. You need to keep the routine, and they thrive on fidelity. They thrive on monogamy. They like regular sex. They like regular meals. They like a regular, stable home life. And they don't want you messing with it. You know, they got something good going. So if you like basking in the security of your lover, knowing that you can trust their love and devotion, and you like loyalty and steadfastness, this is your sign. And they need you to be those things too. Devoted and loyal and steadfast and secure and routined. They need to know, if you say you go to the gym every day, you need to go to the gym every day. You can change it up, but just don't shell shock them with it. So Taurus's devotion to the plan is one of their greatest gifts in life. And if you like somebody who mixes it up and makes it different every day, then Taurus might be too routine for you. And I'm not saying they don't like surprises, they just don't want shell-shocking ones. You can surprise them within the sort of expectations, or you can surprise them by telling them, on Tuesday, I'm going to surprise you. And then you take them up in the hot air balloon or whatever. But if you just go show up at their work and shell shock them like, hey, I need you now, and put them in a hot air balloon, that's not going to work real well. This isn't Sagittarius, right? You have to kind of, I guess, like gently approach the surprises and the shocks and the, you know, you have to buffer those. Shocking news isn't going to work real well with a Taurus. You need to slowly lay out and slowly unravel that you've decided to move to Africa and that you would like them to consider when it's right for them and in time to come join you. You get it, right? Like unravel it kind of slow and calm. You're not dropping bombs on these people. It doesn't work real well with the Taurus. Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think of that. Okay, so sexy seduction tip number 9. Have a full frontal relationship with food. I know we already talked a lot about food, but treat them to gourmet food. Cook for them. You need to prioritize good food, whether that means organic, you know, non-GMO, healthy fruits and vegetables, or veganism or vegetarianism, or steak and potatoes, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever they love and value. Make that the centerpiece of your relationship. Make them something, or get them something, their favorite food that you know that they love, because this is how they will know that you love taking care of them. They will feel so taken care of. So they will feel like you get them. They will feel like you really do love them. And make them your mama's secret sauce that has been the legacy in the family. And they will know that you are in serious deep with them. They will know that you like them so much. Also, I want to give you a little extra tip here. If you cook from your own garden, they will love that. And they love gardening. They usually really love having a garden, a flower garden, a vegetable garden. And if they don't have one, they will respect somebody who does. They love having fruit trees or anything that bears fruit. They usually love flowers, so treat them to your dinner table that just has the freshest flowers that smell so good and look so beautiful, and fresh, beautiful food. And that is so seductive for them. So, seduction tip number 10, be easy to please. Love the simple pleasures and the simple life. Don't be too complex, playing crazy mind games, or emotional games, or psychological warfare. This is the opposite of Scorpio. So it's like, don't F with them. Don't F with their minds. You know, don't be too big of a mystery or a puzzle. And don't need them to communicate all their feelings to you, except that they are going to be, at times, very lazy communicators. Take them at face value. They want to be taken at face value. And if they're showing up at your house, take it to mean they like you. Take it to mean they're investing in you. You don't need to analyze every single little thing with them. They don't like that. See their acts of service as statements of love. They don't always like revealing or telling or communicating their thoughts and feelings. And just believe that if they're taking out your garbage, or they're picking you up from the airport, or you know, they're doing something nice for you, brought you a gift, or, you know, changing your oil or fixing the hinge on your door, or just spending time with you, take it to mean that they like you, they care about you, they love you. Know that these are people of oftentimes very few words, unless they have a lot of Gemini in their chart, which they could, but they don't really want to have their hearts or their minds ambushed with a bunch of questions and analysis. And they will show you that they care about you more than they will tell you. And be okay with that. Be okay with the simplicity of that. Just live sort of simply, trusting and knowing that if they're showing up in your life, they like you, and be okay with that. So here's your bonus tip. A lot of Tauruses, but not all Tauruses, but a lot, are really into fashion and admire their fashion. They usually have like an awesome shoe collection, or they have an awesome sunglasses collection, or they oftentimes have like different pairs of eyeglasses or hats or jewelry, or a brooch or something. They have high fashion sense of style, a lot of them. Now there are some Tauruses that are just super lazy armchair Tauruses, and they're kind of slobs, but a lot of them love fashion and aesthetics and beautiful things. So notice it, and they will be so happy that you notice their fashion sense and their style and their feel-good clothes and their, fabulous shoes, and ask them to even style you a little bit. Tauruses, I would say it is so sort of simple that it's hard. And I go really, really deep into the psyche of who they are in my Everything Taurus video and also my Taurus Rising video. So I hope you'll go check those out. If you're so lucky to have a Taurus in your life, oh my God, you are going to be pampered and spoiled with all the feel goods. You're probably going to gain 15 pounds because they are going to have the most yummy food ever to feed you. And if you have a Taurus Moon or Mars or Venus or Rising or Sun sign, this is probably going to be very, very fitting. So leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about these 10 seduction tips. And if you have any more, I want you to leave them in the comment section below. And also go check out my new website at soulnavigation.com, and you can see all the different reports on there. They're really wonderful, and they're just written so well. I love them. And if you can't afford a full reading, you could at least get one of my reports. I try to send them out right away. I hope you liked my whole Sexy Seduction series, and I want you to take care. And from my house to yours, I wish you the very best.